terrifying predictions made by Nostradamus may be coming true for the year 2025, and I'm sure you'll be shocked by each one of them. The prophecies of the 16th century French astrologer continue to intrigue and frighten millions of people around the world, with his predictions that seem to transcend time and conventional logic. Join us, and let's find out more. Let's go. Number 14. The Artificial Intelligence Rebellion. One of Nostradamus's most terrifying predictions for 2025 involves the possible uprising of artificial intelligence against its human creators. In his cryptic writings, the prophet described combats, naval battles, bombings, and a global uprising of superior man-made intelligence. The prediction takes on frighteningly realistic contours in light of today's rapid technological advances. Machines, robots, and algorithms could develop self-awareness and decide to rebel against human control. The consequences would be catastrophic, affecting industries, economies, governments, and everyday life on a global scale. The reference to naval battles may symbolize the growing geopolitical conflicts over control of artificial intelligence technologies, especially between powers such as the United States, China, Russia, and India. Number 13. World War III. The shadow of a global conflict looms over the geopolitical horizon. Nostradamus foresaw a third world conflict that promises to be more devastating than any previous war. His quatrains point to an escalation of tensions, especially in the Asian region, where China emerges as a central protagonist in this possible scenario of destruction. The details are chilling. The French prophet describes a red adversary who will turn pale with fear, plunging the great oceans into terror. Experts interpret this description as a direct reference to China, whose red flag symbolizes potential geopolitical aggression. The South China Sea, Taiwan, and adjacent territories are already showing worrying signs of military tension. The wars in Ukraine and Israel may be just the prologue to this global conflict. Nostradamus foresees a Europe engulfed in conflict, with specific references to the United Kingdom. His words suggest an explosive combination of political isolation, border tensions, and the possible resurgence of ancient diseases. Number 12. Human expansion to Mars. Martian exploration emerges as the 10th element of Nostradamus's prophecies for 2025. The French prophet seemed to foresee an era of space expansion that transcends the conventional limits of human knowledge. Elon Musk is emerging as a central figure in this cosmic exploration scenario. His ambitious goals include launching the first humans to Mars as early as 2024, with arrivals scheduled for 2025. The entrepreneur plans to build 1,000 Starship spacecraft over the next decade, with the audacious goal of sending 1 million people to the Red Planet by 2050. Nostradamus' reference to a heavenly fire descending upon a royal edifice takes on new meaning when compared with current space projects. Martian colonization would represent not just a technological achievement, but a radical transformation of the human experience. I have a question for you. First, I'd like to tell you that it's possible to keep up with the biggest curiosities of our world every day. But for that, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So, have you subscribed yet? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Now that you've done that, let's go. Number 11. The dramatic fall of the Vatican. In the heart of Rome, a papal transformation is taking shape with dramatic and unpredictable contours. Nostradamus foresaw a radical change in the leadership of the Catholic Church by 2025, foreshadowing the possible end of Francis's pontificate. At 87 years old and facing significant health problems, the current pope finds himself in a delicate position. The French prophet anticipated, through the death of a very old pontiff, a Roman of good age will be elected. The words are precise and enigmatic. The papal succession will not be a simple process, but one marked by internal tensions and structural challenges. The election of a new leader promises to completely reshape the course of the oldest religious institution in the world. Subtle details between the lines of the prophecies suggest that the new pontiff will be younger and more vigorous, but paradoxically will weaken his see, a complex metaphor that could mean a reduction in the global influence of the Catholic Church or the arrival of devastating internal scandals. Number 10. The end of the British monarchy. Nostradamus's prophecies about the British royal family promise to reveal a radical transformation in the line of succession to the throne. Historical documents and interpretations of his writings suggest a dramatic change involving King Charles III. Mario Reading, a Nostradamus expert, has carefully analyzed the prophetic texts and identified worrying signs for the monarchy. The prediction suggests that Charles will be forced out by circumstances beyond his health. Rumors and speculation point to a possible abdication or unexpected departure from the throne. The prophetic text mentions a replacement by someone who never expected to be king, which leaves room for fascinating interpretations about the future of the royal family. Prince William appears to be the most obvious candidate to succeed him. However, the prophecy mentions something intriguing. The new ruler will have no mark of kingship. This mysterious description has raised discussions about a possible radical change in the British monarchy, possibly including the controversial Prince Harry, or even a transition to a more democratic model of government. Number 9. The return of Donald Trump. Prophecies about Donald Trump's possible return to American politics are taking on fascinating contours. Inspired by the predictions of Edgar Cayce, known as the sleeping prophet, Nostradamus suggests a turbulent political scenario for the 2025 presidential elections. The description of a leader who challenges the status quo comes from an unexpected background and has a controversial personality, and finds several parallels with Trump's political trajectory. The prophecies anticipate a period of significant transformation in the United States, with the potential to cause deep social divisions. The biblical reference in Revelation 13:5-7, which describes a leader with great influence and the ability to generate conflict, resonates surprisingly with Trump's political profile, adding layers of interpretation to the prophecies. Number 8. Global pandemics. Nostradamus anticipated global disease cycles long before the advances of modern medicine. His prophecies suggest the resurgence of ancient pathogens and the emergence of new diseases capable of destabilizing entire societies. The prophet described scenarios where pandemics would cross geopolitical boundaries, causing economic collapse and profound social transformations. His words suggest not only the spread of disease, but fundamental changes in the structures of global public health. The recent COVID-19 pandemic has demonstrated how ancient predictions can come true. New viruses, bacterial mutations, and potential biological threats continue to be a global concern, partially confirming Nostradamus's prophecies about pandemic cycles. Number 7. Social revolutions. Nostradamus envisioned an era of profound social transformation by 2025, describing a scenario of global insurgency against established power structures. His prophecies point to a fire that will burn in the heart of the cities, a powerful metaphor for the resistance movements that could redraw the world's political map. Social inequality, which has been increasing in recent decades, is emerging as the main fuel for these potential revolutions. With the gap between rich and poor reaching unprecedented levels, racial, gender, and class tensions are close to boiling point. Major global metropolises are emerging as epicenters of potential uprisings, where the concentration of inequalities becomes more evident. Digital technology has emerged as a key catalyst in this revolutionary process. Online platforms have proven to be powerful tools for mobilization, capable of organizing movements on a global scale in a matter of hours. Recent protests, from the Arab Spring to the Black Lives Matter movement, demonstrate the transformative potential of social media in articulating social movements. Number 6. Global climate disasters. Nostradamus warned of a catastrophic climate change scenario by 2025. His prophecies describe a dramatically changing Earth, where extreme weather events will become more frequent and intense. The prediction of dry land becoming drier, followed by great flash floods, seems to foreshadow devastating climate events. Contemporary scientists are already observing patterns that corroborate these predictions. Record heat waves, massive wildfires, prolonged droughts, and storms of unprecedented intensity are expected to mark this period. Climate change is no longer a remote possibility, but an immediate and threatening reality. The prophecy suggests that 2025 will be a year of critical transition, where the limits of the global climate system will be tested in ways never before seen. Agricultural regions could be completely transformed, ecosystems could collapse, and millions of people will be directly affected by these drastic changes. Number 5. The rise of the Antichrist. Nostradamus devoted extensive passages to the arrival of a mysterious leader from the Middle East, often referred to as the third Antichrist. His prophecies suggest the emergence of an extremely charismatic and dangerous figure, capable of mobilizing masses and causing profound geopolitical transformations. The description of the French visionary portrays this leader as someone eloquent, capable of convincing crowds with impressive ease. Current speculation points to several names as possible candidates, including contemporary political figures such as Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and even King Charles III. The prophetic text highlights fundamental characteristics of this leader: his ability to manipulate, his power of persuasion, and his potential to trigger conflicts on a global scale. The prophecy indicates that this individual will represent a critical moment in the battle between the forces of good and evil, symbolizing a radical transformation in the world's power structures. Number 4. Natural disasters in Brazil. Nostradamus. Prophecies for Brazil in 2025 paint a catastrophic scenario. The mention of the Garden of the World, interpreted as the Amazon, indicates a series of devastating natural events, including possible volcanic eruptions and massive floods. The prophecy suggests sulfur-contaminated waters and a region near hollow mountains, which could symbolize intense volcanic or geological activity. Planned cities like Brasilia appear to be at the epicenter of these apocalyptic predictions. Contemporary scientists are already observing unusual seismic and climatic activity in Brazilian regions, which could partially corroborate these predictions. The mention of poisoned waters adds an extra layer of complexity and terror to the prophecy. Number 3. The Space Age. Nostradamus presented a fascinating insight into technological development, predicting stages of space exploration that would extend into the 30th century. The prophecy describes a progressive evolution of space technology, divided into different eras of development. The predicted stages range from the era of modern culture, marked by the development of information technologies, to more advanced levels of peripheral space exploration. The forecast suggests a radical transformation in the way humanity will relate to space and technology. Number 2. Ukrainian conflict. Nostradamus predicted dramatic changes in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine by 2025. His prophecy suggests a surprising outcome, marked by the military and economic exhaustion of the parties involved. The prediction mentions armies without resources, using alternative methods of payment, such as leather, brass, and brass. The mention of the crescent moon symbol indicates possible Turkish involvement, while references to French elements suggest international mediation in the conflict. The prophecy points to an unconventional resolution, possibly through diplomatic negotiations or unexpected interventions. Key elements of the forecast include mention of empty coffers, soldiers without pay, and a completely transformed geopolitical situation. This suggests not only the end of the conflict, but a profound reorganization of international relations in Eastern Europe. Number 1. Global famine and wave of pestilence. Nostradamus predicted a devastating scenario of global famine for 2025, associated with a wave of pestilence that will threaten populations in several regions of the planet. The prophecy suggests a combination of climatic, geopolitical, and health factors that could trigger an unprecedented food crisis. The forecast indicates prolonged droughts, changes in agricultural patterns, and possible collapses in food production systems. Historically vulnerable regions such as the Middle East, parts of Africa, and areas with arid climates will be especially impacted by this wave of food shortages. Interesting elements of the prophecy include mentions of waters turning to dust in completely barren lands, symbolizing a radical transformation in the natural cycles of agricultural production. The connection to possible epidemics adds an extra layer of complexity to the predicted scenario. Which of these predictions shocked you the most? Do you believe any of them? Leave your opinion below in the comments. Take advantage and click on this video that is now appearing on the screen because I separated it especially for you. Well, that's it, and until next time, Curious One.